how is Bangalore?
Still adjusting.
Why he became a developer expert and what is the process to be one? What is this program, Google Developer Expert?
Okay, so as far as what I understand personally on a GDE basis, like what exactly?
Your developer relations engineer journey. So what is the difference in actual engineer and a developer relation engineer?
You really need to be there. You need to be there in a physical manner, and you need to talk to the people. You need to attend events. You need correct.
So yeah, what is or was also the reason.
There is also a reason. There is also like a major reason because I used to have this 16 8 GB.
Hello everyone, my name is Bilal Khan and you are watching Simplified Coding. Today we have Akshay Nandamana with us. Hello Akshay.
Hey, hi.
So how is Bangalore?
Still adjusting.
So this guy recently became a Google Developer Expert for Android. Welcome to the league.
Thanks.
So today we will try to find out why he became a developer expert and what is the process to be one. So Akshay, the first question is, what is this program, Google Developer Expert?
Okay, so as far what I understand personally on a GDE basis, like what exactly the Google Developer Expert is more like this program is telling you or giving a badge or giving an option to you that, okay, you are the person who knows the particular domain, whatever the Google technologies are in, and you have a deep understanding in that particular domain. So you are the one which whom like anyone can go to this person and ask what exactly, like let's say we are in Android, right? Both are in Android. So if you have anything specific in Android, you can ask us. So this is the kind of like program overall what I understand.
So Akshay, you recently started your developer relations engineer journey. So what is the difference in actual engineer and a developer relation engineer?
Okay, I'll answer that question in two parts. So the one is on a personal basis. Engineering is more like I keep sitting on a house on a daily basis, like from morning to evening, and it's all like solving the problems, bugs, and all those kind of things, and just keep talking to the teammates and colleagues and all. But this developer relation thing is like really interesting because you really need to be there. You need to be there in a physical manner, and you need to talk to the people. You need to attend events. You need to talk to speakers as a speaker. You need to write blogs. You need to record like videos like this, right? So that you need to reach to those people so that you can bring awareness. So that is also an important part of it. Now, engineering is more like solving all the product and technical stuff, but developer relation is more like more of a human stuff, I would say. Yeah.
Okay, so let's go a little bit back. Okay, so you are an engineer, right? So how Android came to your life? Why you did not choose iOS? Why you went with Android? And what was the initial journey?
Okay. So there's a interesting story behind it. So the idea is like so my college journey is like 2014 till 18, right? So back in 2014, we don't have this like proper internet setup, right? There was no internet. It's just a geo in all the shopping malls and everything. So we used to have this shopping mall where there's a internet available. So what I used to do is like I used to go to that mall, sit for morning till evening, record the videos and download all the YouTube videos and bring those to home and understand like what exactly what was the first thing I should learn. So I'm more like hopping between C, C++, Java and all those kind of things. I never know like, and also coming from a tier 3 city, there is no one to guide you or mentor you, right? So you don't have, so I started creating profiles on these LinkedIn and Twitter and everything. And I started looking for people that what exactly really going on, right? You really don't know from a tier 3 perspective. So there's a college of IIM college, right? IIM. So we used to have this startup event over there, which is like a 32 hours event. So I attend that particular event, and one of the team who got selected, who win the event, have created the Android application. So that is why I thought like, okay, if they are the people who use this technology to win the project, now okay, this is the technology I can try. And also suits my laptop. So that is the reason. So that's how the Android thing comes to me.
Okay, the main thing was suits your laptop, right? So at my time, I didn't have a MacBook or an iPhone, and these two things are very much required to be an iOS guy.
Correct.
So yeah, poverty is or was also the reason.
That is also a reason. That is also like a major reason because I used to have this 8 GB, even an 8 GB Dell laptop, which only able to support this Eclipse. Back in, like we used to code in the Eclipse. There's no Android Studio, I think. Or I might not aware about that. So Android Studio, I think like 1.5 or 2 version was there. So that's how the whole thing keeps going on. And unless the Android Studio comes in, I used to think, okay, this 8 GB is still not enough. Then I used to keep thinking that what best we can do. So yeah.
Okay, so if you would like to share, what was the lowest point in your journey so far? It's optional. If you want.
Okay, so I think like lowest point is more like I would say I left the Android part in a mid journey kind of thing, right? I left the Android. I started thinking that okay, what else can I do? Or I started like traveling a little bit. So at that time, what happened? Couple of new libraries came into the picture. A couple of libraries, like really new libraries. There are a lot of new thing are coming up, like diffutil in recycler view. There's a new thing. Diffutil comes in. There is a new whole motion layout is coming. There is a whole new things are coming up, right? And while I like not doing the Android for a couple of months, and then I thought like I should really start again. Starting again is like really lowest point because I think like I am in much far behind for all those people who already doing all those using this motion layout and constant layout and all those fancy stuff, right? So I think there was a part I was like really need to think again. Why did I really left that part? So that's a like really lowest point I would say.
Okay, now we will come back to the GDE part because Android we covered. So, like, how did you know about this program, developer expert, and how much effort did you put to become one?
Okay, I'll add one extra point into this. So I really say whatever your audience are like, but I would suggest like whoever like from the tier 3 or these days like internet is already available for all the people like. Keep using internet in a better way as in like keep searching for people, keep connecting with a lot of people, keep seeing what exactly people are talking on Twitter and X and everything, right? So that's how only I got to know about all these programs. So I started back my journey in my college only with a program called Applied CS with Android. So it's more like you learn data structure but using Android. Okay. So Google run this program, they have this education stuff. So I applied to that program to become a facilitator so that I can bring this program to my city and teach other people as well, right? So that is the whole thing. Like this is how the journey started, and that's how like joining in one program. After that, I get to know about all other programs like GDG, GDE, and all those other programs. So the main thing you really need to do is keep using more and more social media in a better way, right? And follow good people. So that is also an important part. If you follow all those cringe stuff, it's really not going to really help you. You really need to follow real engineers who are really doing whatever work. Like, yeah.
But what was the process to become a GD? Like, you created a lot of social media content. You make courses also. You are pretty famous in the domain. But what is the process to become this GDE?
Okay. So I always wanted to become GDE, right?
Okay.
But the idea is like I always think that okay, I still not in a part where I should become a GDE. I always have this thing in my mind. Just like we should really not apply to this company. People keep thinking the same thing, right? So the same thing happens to me. I always think of applying, but never apply to it because I thought I don't have that much knowledge right now. And again, I see other people who are doing really great stuff, and I always like keep myself behind. So what I did, I started my own Android engineers community. The community itself name is Android Engineers. We have all those WhatsApp channel and everything, right? And I started sharing whatever I am learning. So if I am learning about Jetpack Compose, I keep telling them, okay, this is what I learned today. So it's more of like there are a couple of technologies. Let's say I learn Jetpack Compose, I learn coroutine. So whatever I'm learning on a particular day basis, I share with them. I share in my WhatsApp channel, I share in my WhatsApp community, and people keep thinking, okay, this is how we can learn. It's not this like you have all the things. You have all the developer documentation, you have YouTube video of Google, Android, all these things are available. But it's more like what I'm putting more of like my point of view towards that particular API or technology, right? So then I started feeling okay. Now I'm a little bit confident enough that I can really do. I started writing blogs. I started creating this Instagram videos, YouTube videos, and then I started feeling good, and I applied to this program. So yeah, this is how the application thing started.
Was there some kind of interview involved?
It's a long process, I would say. It takes a couple of months. So firstly, this is not a program where you can go to a particular website, particular link and apply to it. It's not like that. It's more of like you need to find another GDE like you or other GDE, and then you can showcase to them that, okay, this is what I have done. These are my contributions. This is where I keep doing blogging or videos or going to conferences. So after that, if they feel that, okay, you are the guy who can really become a GDE, and again, becoming a GDE, I would try to rephrase this line. Becoming a GDE is more like you can present that particular technology on behalf of someone, right? So that is a more part. Now, if you are able to present the technology in a very good way, in a very presentable way, in a very way which developers can easily understand, then you are the guy who they really trust you, and they can refer you to become a GDE. So that was the first part. After that, all the application checking and all the valuation going on, that, okay, these are the blogs I have written, all those things, whatever I have done so far. After that, there are a couple of interviews. Interviews is more like in depth. If I keep saying about, like, let's say Jetpack Compose, which I also used to mentor and teach. So do I really know the internals of it? So that was the reason. And once the interview completed, I become one. Yeah.
Okay. Nice. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
So, would you like to talk about some perks if you're getting any after becoming this GDE?
Yeah, so it's
like,
been
I know
only
about it, but for the audience.
correct. So it's been only 1 month right now. I become a GDE, but I really getting a lot out of it. Now, what are the things? Like, first thing is like the traveling policy, which is a very interesting one. You can travel, but it's not about like you're traveling for fun and all. You are traveling to present your particular technology, your particular topics to the audience, right? Where it's more like spreading the awareness kind of thing. So that's the one thing, traveling. Second thing, I would really say that if I need to talk to someone, and if I let's say if I need to say that, okay, this is the Android APIs which I really don't interest out of it, right? And I need to give a feedback to a Googler directly. So this is helping me bridging a gap between me and a Googler to tell them that this is how I feel about this API and this is what they can do. So this is all the perks, I would say. This is the real perk where you can really talk to the people who are building the technologies. So yeah, this is an interesting one.
Okay, so moving ahead, you are a developer relations engineer, right? So how AI or Gemini, I hope you use Gemini, so is affecting your day-to-day work life?
I would say affecting as in like it's helping a lot.
Yeah.
So earlier I used to do all the manual stuff by myself, like all the hey, I'm putting all those, creating all those presentations, creating docs and everything doing on my own, right? But now with all the Gemini and everything, I started really using Google search a little less and more of a Gemini person. That if I really need to bring something or I want to ask something, that I want to like strategize something, that okay, these are the steps I really need to do, but I really want to be in a good form. It should be in a particular order or these kind of things. As I go jump to the Gemini directly. So it's not also helping me on a day-to-day stuff, but on a personal level also. So yeah.
So you also make courses, right?
Yes.
About Android development, Jetpack Compose, etc. So what do you think? Android development is becoming easier or harder?
I would say it's really becoming easier day by day, because earlier with the XML and all, you need to write a lot of code, right? You need to learn each and everything. Okay, this is how the linear layout looks like. This is how the constant layout, chaining, visibility, all those lot of things are there. But now, because of this Gemini, you have all these things in your Android Studio, Gemini, and all the other plugins. You can really learn fast things. It's not about like the learning curve hasn't increased. It increased, but you get more tools around it. So you have a profiler in the Android Studio. Now you really don't know what is the profiler or what the data is available. What you can simply do is like take a screenshot of the profiler data, give it to the Gemini, and get all the understanding. This is how much the memory is available, CPU intensive work, whatever it is. So it's easy nowadays.
Okay. So because you mentor a lot of students, so what do you think? What is the most common problem for students while learning Android development?
Okay. First and foremost things, now, back in earlier days, we used to have this problem of having a Mac or having a RAM and a lot of things, right? Now this is not. This is more like Android Studio is really becoming very easy with all these 8 GB RAMs and everything. That's the first thing. Second thing, where the student is really lacking behind is like, because of the less Android content available in the market, they really don't trust that, okay, should we go to this domain or not? We should either go for a React.js or Next.js or something like that. We should not go to the Android. That's a very lacking part, because they don't really feel that, okay, there are enough job available in the market or not. That's the second thing. And the other part is, if I started learning Android, so is it like just creating an application, or am I going to get a good feel about a software engineer? Am I really becoming a good software engineer or not? It's just creating the UI and just pushing the application or showcasing it. So that's how it is. But these are the major problems any beginner will feel.
Okay. So last question. This is the end section. So I personally started using these AI tools a lot. What I do is, like, the tools that are coming with Android Studio is not very good, but I think it will soon get updated. But for now, what I will do is, I open the Android Studio project in anti-gravity. Okay, and for example, you have to create a new application or ship a new feature. You can do the planning, you can tweak the plans, and you can hit run, and anti-gravity will do all the things.
Correct.
It can even compile your Android project, check for the errors, and fix them. Okay, so it is very helpful. Do you do the same?
I would say still, I started using this anti-gravity thing, and it's a really interesting one, because whenever I want to create a new feature, add a new feature, what I just do, I just give a prompt, a detailed prompt. That is also an important part. You need a detailed prompt over there. It gives a complete implementation part. It gives a walkthrough part once it completed. So that is part I really like so far. But I really hope this Gemini thing is going to be better soon with this Android Studio. So yeah, right now all this is hopping between Android Studio and anti-gravity. So yeah, the hopping is ongoing.
Okay, so last question. Okay, and I need yes or no.
Okay.
So I'm asking, will AI replace Android developers or software engineers?
No.
Okay, thanks a lot, Akshay.
Thank you so much. Thank you so
nice
much.
Conversation. And if you guys want, you can check out his courses, follow Android engineers, and for more Android developer insights, subscribe to Simplified Coding. And we will see you in the next time. Bye bye.